Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Wacky, wacky, wacky Wednesdays. You gotta say something when you start. I just make stuff up. There's no sober trudging in it, so it's, I gotta make stuff up. So that's what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is, right? But happy Wednesday to you. Yeah. Okay. So I was looking for jokes. Morning, Amber. Afternoon, Amber. I've already missed T-Mobile twice. I'm probably gonna call while I'm doing this. I'm switching my internet so I can save by bundling. Because our phones are with T-Mobile. Now they got fiber out here. So I'm gonna bundle. It'll save me $20 a month. So yeah. Mostly I'm switching because, well, I can understand the people that I call it T-Mobile. The other one, well, Quantum got bought out by AT&T, and I will not support AT&T. AT&T did some horrible stuff to people and their pensions. They used to be called Mountain West, Mountain Bell back in the day. Yeah, some of you know about the communications snafu of the 90s, where everybody lost their job at communications. Did not get any pay for it. The man that raised me got caught up in that. He lost his pension. They took their pensions, man. And if that man was anything, he was a hard worker, because he certainly wasn't at home. He wasn't home, right? So I put out this song. Man, it made me cry. And it turns out it was AI. Somebody brought up that it was AI. They're like, we think that's AI. I'm like, you're probably right. His name is Mikhail Bennett, right? And yeah, I don't care. The person that brought up that it was AI is a musician, so I get where they're coming from. I understand it. But then you go put out some great blues music for me, and I'll post it, man. I'll post it. There's some bands that have come out. They said they're rock and roll. These are, no, you're not. You sound more like pop stars than you do rock and roll, man. Rock and roll's got grit to it. Grit. Yeah. Yep. Well, you can tell I always get up later on Wednesdays. I've been trying, but the nightmares were aplenty last night. We even talked about them yesterday a little bit. It's all right. There is kind of good news. I mean, if you could really say good news, we call it progress. The amount of time that it takes me to shake it off in the morning has decreased a lot. Like today, I got up. I wouldn't have been able to go live till probably 2-3 o'clock. Now it takes me about, I don't know, half an hour, and then I'm kind of through it. When I wake up, everything from nightmares, everything's kind of distorted. I still don't believe that I'm quite awake. And these are ongoing stories too. They're weird. Um, yeah, more flying, more Spider-Man stuff. That happens. I start flying in my dreams. It's a form of escape. It's me escaping. Because it's the only way I know how. But anyway, that's right. I know it's weird. I get to be Spider-Man and I get to fly, not necessarily Superman. I get to fly in my dreams, but they're nightmares. It's like it's like backwards Batman or something. I don't know. Oh well. I had to talk about something. Today we're talking about the 4 years of trudging. Yeah. And what I'm going to kind of do is cover why I'm advocating, not just advocating, but educating and helping. And okay. And I'll give you the short version because the resources in Colorado suck. That's why. A lot of the resources, not all of them, but most of them. So I try to get the right resources out. Right. There's a few right ways of doing this and a million wrong ways. Yeah. So I figure I'd give my own brand. It's not for everybody. That's okay. Right. I am just, if what I do helps one person, it's what it comes down to, right? That's what matters. Might be the same person that I've helped before. That's okay too. It does not matter. It is what God wants, not what I want, not what you want. No. Well, maybe if your will's in line with God's. All right. So, all right, let's do some funnies before we get serious. I don't know how serious I'm going to get. We'll see. What has 5 toes but isn't your foot? My foot. I think we told that one. I know. We have told all of these. I think we're running out of jokes, friends. Here you go. What do you call a Frenchman who has been attacked by a cat? Claude. Yep. You would call that cat Claude. All right. Hey, Tyler. Good to see you, brother. My 6-year-old daughter has lined up all of her dolls towards the outside grill. Looks like she's preparing some kind of barbecue. How can you tell the difference between a crocodile and an alligator? Easy. One will see you later, and the other one will see you in a while. Either way, just run. Just run. Okay. The way you can tell the difference is the nose. One's rounded and one's has a little pointy on it. I don't know the difference between the two though, but I do know that's the difference. For anybody that really does need advice on knowing the difference between the two. All right. Someone told me that it's impossible to make fun about vegetables. I said that is not necessarily true. Necessarily. Celery, not necessarily true. My dyslexia does not like that one. My friend Jack claims he can communicate with vegetables. Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack and the Beanstalk. Where do fruits go on vacation? Paris. I was going to say San Francisco, but I didn't know how well that'd go over here. Hey, we're having fun here. We're just having fun. Cheek and tongue. Cheek and tongue, my friends. All right. If you know me well enough, you know I'm not. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. I'm your host. I took out the please say hello because I just took it out. It's just filler. If you want to say hello, go for it, I guess. It does help. It does help me. I beg you, I bequeath you. Anyway, we're here. I have nothing to go off of today. There's nothing written. There is no Chat GPT doesn't know this story. It would not be able to help me out. It is not something. It's something I haven't talked about in a while. Uh, I do talk often why, and I gave you the quick. Right. So for a few years there, I tried to get sober. Now I'm not going to sit here and point fingers. The reason Dion did not get sober is because Dion wasn't sober. I mean, that's just kind of what it comes down to. But I was asking for help. It was kind of tough. What was it on my side? Well, you see how much I know. You think it's you think it would be easy as a therapist or a counselor or somebody else to sit down with me and say, "Hey, Dion, you're full of shit. Good luck." Actually, when I wasn't any different as a drunk, okay, but I did have the knowledge of this program. It was pretty. If I didn't want help, it was easy. All I had to do was say I wasn't willing, and then everybody would leave. Oh, he's not willing, but I was. I was. See, I just wanted somebody that would understand. These people just didn't understand. They get it, right? One point I did go to treatment. I think that lasted about 4 days. Didn't last very long. Um, I was also going through some heart issues at the time. But as somebody who was a counselor at treatment, as somebody who'd worked detox, as somebody who'd worked these things, these people were full of shit. They had no idea what they were doing. It, but they'd have us listen to their quiet music. We'd have a few groups, but really they weren't doing anything. Honestly, I wasn't there for very long. At the same time, Dion was also hard-headed, think he knew everything. So let's keep that in mind, okay? And it still kind of comes out. You can still kind of hear it, but I do know more than these people. That is fact. Even then, I did. The other thing I didn't like is that my stepdad's one of his best friends was working there, and he was telling him what was going on with me blowing HIPAA. No, ain't gonna happen. No, I don't like it when people do that stuff to me. Nope, and they knew it. Anyway, that's not really the part. So finally, I started putting myself in detoxes, right? And every time, ever like the transport people, I'd ask them, "How long you been sober?" "Oh, I'm not in recovery." Okay, weird. I thought that was weird. Now, why did I think it was weird? I thought it was weird because when I worked in detox, the transport people were recovered alcoholics. 90% of the people that worked at detox were recovered alcoholics and addicts with CACs, certified alcohol counselor. Yeah, about 200 hours. Get that? I got mine. I was a CAC. May not know that about me. Well, yeah, most of you do. I was a drug and alcohol counselor for a while. I've been going to therapy for so long. I could probably put LPC after my name. I'm screwed around. That's not true. Besides, that would be fraud, and I'm not willing to do that, right? But so I started going detox, And I was at literally asking for help. You want to know how many AA meetings I attended when I was in detox? And I was there a lot when I was a client at detox. None. None. There was not one meeting. Nope. I didn't notice this because, well, I was living kind of in a different world at the moment. So I go there and I'd ask for help. And this is what they do. They'd reach into their drawer, they'd pull out a piece of paper, they would hand it to me, and they would say, "Here, good luck. Call these numbers. These people can help you." Well, who are these people? I don't really know. What? You don't know? Then I started to figure out that the people that were working at detox were not capable of helping me. I figured it out. It took me a while. I was so far gone that but I kept going, asking for help. Nothing. I went back to primary purpose bills, brown baggers, asking for help. But there again, a change had been made while I was gone during those 15 years. A change was made. And that change was, is anybody here looking for a sponsor? That's what we used to ask in meetings. Why it got changed is beyond me. I still don't know. I still don't. That still makes no sense to me. All right. And it had been changed to, is anybody here willing to sponsor? Well, I don't know how it was for you when you detoxed, but for me, it was like the ocean in my head. It was, you remember that sound? Yeah, it drives you fucking crazy. It does, sweating, shake, every pore of your body shaking. It's nerve-wracking. It's painful. Very, very, very painful. So I kept putting up my hand, and these people must have thought I was crazy. And I can kind of chuckle about that now. Sure, I can. It's, you know, but I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear it. This is the part that will never, ever be funny or humorous. For 2 years, I begged for help. Right? 2 of those years, I was not trying AA. I was just trying to get sober, and then I was going to go to AA. But detox was not helping me. So I had started going back to AA, and for 2 years, I kept raising my hand, looking for a sponsor, and for 2 years, no one did anything. They let me sit there. They let me continue. I'm not going to let that happen to somebody else if I'm around. No. That's just that I'm going to tell you that's just sad is what it is. So during these 4 years, I don't know how many people I asked for. So it's no wonder that people are not getting sober because they're asking for help when they go to detox. But these people working at detox are not capable of doing it. They will hand you a piece of paper. They will say, good luck, pretty much. Yeah. Or they will send you to a place, at least in Colorado. I mean, treatment and sober living are so hit and miss in Colorado that it borders on dangerous. You know, what is the main thing that we kind of do? Well, we take accountability, right, for our actions, right? Right. Um, sorry, I needed a second there. Amber says most people in AA can't help either because they're not working the steps. Yeah. Yeah. They're not following the directions in the big book. I would partly agree with that. No. Was this one meeting you were in going to in those 2 years? Was this one meeting you were going to in? I don't understand the question. Sorry. No, I just went to one meeting. It was Bill's Brown Baggers because that was my home group for a very, very long time when I got sober the first time. So if that's what you're asking, I just went to that. I just went to that one meeting. Well, I went to primary purpose, so I tried the noon, the 5:30, and the 7. Besides the Alateen meetings where it's 7, and the kids would go to Alateen and I go to AA. Shannon would go to Al-Anon. Yeah, so it was. Good question. Thank you. So what she's saying is if you are in this predicament, try other meetings. If that meeting isn't helping you, try other meetings. See, that thought did not occur to me while I was doing that. And if somebody like Amber would have been around, she might have said, you might want to try other meetings. Actually, if Tyler and Amber were around and they knew what they knew now, they wouldn't have let me flounder for 2 years. I know them better than that. Wouldn't have done it. Mm-mm. And I know because you hang out with me. Now, I'm not saying it's because of me. It's just that I'm like that also, and birds of a feather flock together. So that's what I'm saying. So that meeting failed you, not all of AA. I had two-person as meeting fail because they didn't know the tools. They were lying to me about women with women and men with men. Yeah, I get it. I understand what you're saying. I don't think I said AA failed me. I said, that meeting failed me. I never go for big, I don't throw everybody into one pile. I don't do that. So I forget that other people don't know that about me yet. So, yeah. So that meeting failed me. And it wasn't just that meeting. It was the club. Club knew. I knew who I was. 3 different detoxes, hundreds of different people. Now that I was failed, and it was done because people. But you hit it. You did. You hit it correctly. They didn't know what to do. You were correct on that. That they were not working their own program. They don't know, right? So that's been my experience, but it's not totally why I do what I do. I mean, it's part of it. The reason why I continue doing what I'm doing is because I don't want it to happen to the next person. Luckily, I had enough knowledge to know that AA would work if I could get the grasp of it, right? Yeah. Amber also says those detoxes also don't have the tools. It's sad shit for sure. Yeah, I would agree. And that's what we're trying to change right now. That's why I continue getting on these detoxes so that we can give them the tools. And right now, um, the pot was stirred. I tried to walk away from it, but they asked me yesterday. They said we're the executives. We are all sitting down. We are not going to tolerate this. It is no longer in Detox's hands. It is now up to the board. It's now going to the board of directors. Now we get change. Yeah. So what's another reason why? Because nobody else is doing it. I don't know of anybody else in Colorado that is doing what I am doing. Now, I'm not trying to single myself out because there are probably things that you are doing too that nobody else is really doing. All right. And we all have those things. So I'm not special in any way. I don't think that, right? They don't want our tools. Our tools are free. I would agree to that to a certain point. There are some people that work in the industry that do want to utilize those free tools. Yeah. That are not in recovery, that are what we would call normies or non-alcoholic. Um, my friend Kathy is one of them, and she's the driving force. See, a lot of these people I kind of already know because they all worked at Arapaho House, and I used to work at Arapaho House. All right. And I was the youngest drug and alcohol counselor in the state of Colorado at the age of 20. And my name was No, because you met me. Just between my name, how I act, people tend not to forget me, right? So I have some pull. We I don't know them, but we know some of the same people. Some of these people know my mother, right? So these are the kind of connections that I have. My mom had this plant. It was a spider plant in her office. I remember this plant. It was always there. Okay. Well, she would give what she would do is she would take a part of that, pot it, and 84th and Huron, every spider plant there is hers. There are people in Aurora Mental Health that have spider plants from the spider plants that my mother gave them. I have a hook. This is not on this was it was not by accident. This is like AA, like these other things. This is divinely inspired. This is God asking me to do something. And I'll tell you, sometimes I resist. I don't want to do it. How many times in the last 6 months have I tried to walk away from this? I even broke up with him a week and a half ago, and God's like, nope. I'm sorry, Dion. You are not done. And I don't know that I necessarily want to do it anymore. I'm tired of it. I wanna move on. But I'm not gonna ignore God. So I don't want so things are improving. Things are getting better. Now I'm gonna show you something. And I don't know that my listeners are gonna be very happy about this. I got this from AAWS, Alcoholics Anonymous World Services. Okay. And what they did is they created a new position over there for AA, right? Where is it here? I want to find the there it is. And they call it the AA monthly communication, and it is sent by the self-support and finance GSO staff member. Self-support and finance GSO staff member. We're already okay. This is the stuff that scares me. This is their monthly newsletter, and I'm not going to go all the way through it. Wants to allow while visiting the site. This way, I can zoom in and stuff for you, or you should be able to. Anyway, just real quick, it says I have been asked by the General Service Board in my role as Chair AAW Finance Subcommittee on Self Support to contribute to AAWS monthly communication letters. I do so with gratitude and a keen awareness that understanding has come from shared experiences. All right, now I'm going to scroll. There is guilt set throughout this whole thing, right? So if you scroll down, it serves here. When I contribute today, I'm helping sustain the services that allow AA to be found. There is also a quiet dignity and shared responsibility. Being supportive reminds me that AA is not something we simply receive. It is something I help carry. I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me. I contribute so others may stand after. When the basket is passed in my home group, I contribute not only to meet today's expenses, but the expression of gratitude and participation. Okay? Now, that was guilt. That was pure 100% guilt. Why are we creating a position for somebody to ask monthly for money when we have 25 million in prudent reserve? Why? This is the stuff that scares me. There are parts of AA that are getting too big for their britches. Yes. Gen Xers, and that's mostly what it is, probably because Yeah, our time has come. Actually, it's just people, all right? And even then, they're probably well, the more money we bring in, the more good we can do. Did you not read the fucking traditions? Did you not read them? Okay, these are the same people that put out the plain English big book without our permission. The same people, the finance committee, same people. What are you doing over there? What there's hardly any 12 step work available, but we pay somebody $70,000 a year to work less than 32 hours a week. There's something is askew, right? I can tell you, I do know this. Let's say AAGSO shuts down tomorrow. We're still going to have our meetings. It is not going to stop what we do. You're going to see changes happening in the next few years. You watch. Watch. There'll be some changes. The popularity portion of recovery is starting to come to an end. It's starting to taper down a little bit. That is good news. We don't need recovery to be popular. We are an attraction, not promotion. There's very good reasons for that. There are very good reasons. Okay? I have watched hundreds, maybe thousands of people by this point in the last 8 years do what I do, come and disappear. Yeah, they pop up on the scene. Here we are. All right. I had another one of us on the other day, Benjamin Lerner. He'd been around for a while. You can trust his stuff. It's kind of rough. He can be kind of rough, but he comes from a rough background, right? So T-Mobile still hasn't called me back. Fine, you know my business. When I called to set the appointment, our bill was 1 day past due, so they wouldn't set the appointment. Yeah, we call that bribery. You know that, right? One 1 day, so I had to wait till we paid the bill. But the person I talked to, I've been in sales, so I know what it's like. I'm like, I'll give the sale to you. So I've been patient. I've been waiting. She called. I'm like, call me at this time on this day. Well, she called 2 hours early, then an hour early, and I said, "Can you call me an hour?" She hasn't called back. So, all right. I don't want anybody to be in the position that I was in where they are asking for help and not receiving it. I am responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out for help. I want the hand of AA to be there. And for that, I am absolutely 100% responsible. I am. Gotta be. Yeah. I don't want to be, I don't want to even be close to the part where if I did something wrong, that it would kill someone else. I don't know. I don't want anything to do with it. I want to be near it. Got to do better. Like I was saying, there are changes and it's exciting. I'm watching it. I'm watching it. And, it took me 4 years, 5 years, actually. I think, I don't know. We'll go with 4 just because it's shorter and I don't want to lie, even if it's by accident. I'd rather it be shorter. All right. So, all right. We're going to do today's one day at a time daily reflection. We're going to do that because it's probably going to give us answers. All right. Because I kind of been talking, what is the solution to all this? Good, duh. What about the solution, Dion? Yeah, I didn't brought up a little bit, but I didn't really, otherwise, all I did was tell jokes and complain a little bit. Keep doing what you're doing. It's working. What's the answer? The answer is do the steps, find a sponsor, do 90 meetings in 90 days. The answer hasn't changed. Okay. But what is the solution to like the detoxes? Well, they need to hire people that are recovered alcoholics and addicts, recovered, and then it'll start to change. They need to switch to a success rate. They need accountability. And last, but certainly not least, it's actually most important that we are responsible for our resources. That if I send a client over there from detox to that sober living and they die, you are accountable also. Bunk, 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 bunk. You are. Not just them, you too. Now, does that mean you're going to jail? No, it's not what that means. Unless you knew better. We call this being an accomplice. I mean, if I give this person a gun and they go shoot somebody with it, and I know that that might happen, I am liable. Am I not? Am I not? There we go. It's hard to be responsible for that stuff. Now you know why vetting is so important. Why all of it is so important. With 90% of our sober livings have no clue as to what they are doing. They are just making money off of recovery. It is all they are doing. And it's not going to be long before it shuts down. They've been doing sober living in California for 20 years. It has turned into a racket. What did you think was going to happen? Oh, we're Colorado, so it's going to turn out differently. No, it's not. All right. So let's do reflection for today. In the old days, we had often had such devastating experiences that we were fervently swore never again. We were absolutely sincere in those moments of desperation, which is probably why I picked this topic. It probably brought me back to that point. Yet, despite our intentions, the outcome was inevitably the same. Eventually, the memory of our suffering faded, as did the memory of our pledge. So we did it again, ending up in even worse shape than we had when we last swore off. Forever turned out to be only a week, a day, or less. In the program, we learned that we need only be concerned about today, this particular 24-hour period. Do I live my life in just 24 hours of time? I do. I could say yes to that. And guess what? You're already most of the way through this day. At least in Colorado. It's lost connection. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Did it again. Hopefully it's still okay. It's still gone. It was just a quick lost connection. Today I pray. May the long-term requirements of such phrases as never again, not on your life, forever, I'll never take another, not weaken my resolve. Forever is just broken down into single days, or even just parts of days. Does not seem so impossibly long. May I awake each day with my goal setting realistically at just 24 hours. Today I'll remember 24 hours at a time. Yes, I live my life 24 hours at a time. I've not sworn off forever. But the thought of never drinking again also doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me anymore. Yeah. And why is it? Because I live for today. Because I live in the now. So it doesn't bother me. You'll get to that point. I don't hate alcohol. I don't love alcohol. I'm neutral. It's kind of nice. Yeah. I don't fight alcohol. I don't avoid things because alcohol might be involved. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to watch any of my shows, play any of my video games. I wouldn't read any of my books. Right? I need to be able to enjoy living in the moment. So, I'm sure I'll be back in a little bit later with something a little bit more inspirational. I have to work on my first class today. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any recording on it, though. So we'll see. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.